Alright. Let's do this again. So... Yep. So, this is Haunted Castle, and I basically spent 2 days playing this game and have done a speed run of it. JH10, I mean, it's Castlevania, it's poverty. You knew it'd have it happen eventually, right? Knowing me. Anyway, again, for the benefit of anyone who's watching, almost everything in this level takes half your life because I'm playing on version M, which is the hardest version of this game. Those guys out of the trees, half health. The flames, half health. Collapsing columns, half health. Skeletons and their bones, half health. Zombies, half health. Minor mistake coming up because I thought I could avoid the bat by jumping over him, but I mistimed it just slightly. I'm playing a little bit safer in general in this than I would if I were to go for an SDA run on this game. And in general, I want to avoid getting hit because at the end of each level, your hearts are automatically exchanged for health. One heart for each point of health you're missing. Anyway, the bomb sub-weapon is a huge help against this boss, as you can see. I don't know how you'd fight with the whip, to be honest. I kill these enemies and wait underneath them instead of damage boosting because partially the health issue that I talked about before, because these enemies do 4 points of damage. So I can't afford too many damage boosts to begin with, and especially if I'm trying to keep my hearts up. But also because I need to kill everything in this area to get that Morning Star weapon that just dropped. And I have to get it now because if I don't get it now, there's only one other enemy that drops that weapon, and it's a bat that's later on and that wastes even more time to kill than doing all that stuff at the beginning would. Some parts like this where you drop down or go up and stuff, you have to wait for the screen to scroll a little bit before you make your move. Because if the screen doesn't start scrolling downward, you'll just be considered as like falling into a pit and die. Coming up, the stopwatch, most broken weapon in the game. And I'm going to use it here because in that area, a bunch of bats normally spawn and force you to wait. And I'm going to use it again here. Get rid of that guy. But yeah, in this game, a nice thing about it is, if you use the stopwatch before an enemy's spawn point, the enemy will never spawn, period. And I'm using the stopwatch again here. It only costs 2 hearts in this game, compared to 5 in most Castlevanias. And it works on every boss in the game, even Dracula. You definitely want to stay in the top route here. It gets nasty if you ever get knocked down to the bottom. And I'm going to wait a little bit. I could use the stopwatch again to delay that bat or something, but that just makes the fishman appear behind you and shoot a fireball at you that you can't avoid. Just bad things happening there. And here's the stopwatch in action. Made a little minor mistake in the mashing there. 318 on the timer. I've gotten 320 before, but that's being riskier with taking damage. This level, this is where most people quit playing this game, generally. Because if you get here with the whip, it's like impossible. The Fleamen will just own you all day. Notice how close they get to hitting me, and I'm using the Morning Star. With the whip, you're just going to take hits from them. There is no way to avoid them. You have to kill them before they run into you. Even in the highest difficulty, though, most things only do 1 point of damage in this level, so I can be a little bit more aggressive with taking damage here. Also, don't ask what that was about. It's the 80s. Use your imagination. Bloody Tears, there you go. So if anyone was ever wondering why this track has that name, there you go. Now, I screwed this part up a little bit because I should have used the stopwatch later. If you use it later, you can prevent these axe armors from ever spawning. VG takes the top route, but I found it faster to go the bottom route here since you don't have to kill the axe armor. Minor mistake coming up here. Cost me a few seconds. Yep. So that level 3, that could have been improved by a few seconds still. Also, I just used the stopwatch there again because that prevents a mummy from spawning. And that particular mummy that I used the stopwatch around, he drops a boomerang when you kill him, so it just saves a lot of time and health to prevent him from ever spawning to begin with. Stopwatch there again because those eyes keep them from going after you. I screw up this a little bit. I tried to kill him because he drops another heart I can pick up. No biggie though. Have to be careful with that one. You want him to move far enough to the left that that weapon that he drops goes into a spot where he won't pick it up. This level is actually still, without a doubt, my most improvable one in this run. But really that's all because of a glitch. Or at least I guess it's a glitch, I don't really know. But I'll talk about when I get to the boss here. Actually, this wait for the platforms is pretty long, so I can just go on about now. So, the boss of this level, so occasionally he'll shoot a fist at the start of the fight in the spot where you can't dodge it. If he does that, you can use the stopwatch to freeze it and you can actually hit the fist and it'll count as damage to the boss, so you can get a really quick kill on him. But that, like, when the fist is that low, it doesn't work. Only when it's at a specific height. I have no idea why. So I have to wait for him to move enough to the right, because he doesn't take damage until he moves far enough to the right here. So that's pretty much the standard way to kill him. This level. The hardest when playing normally, I think. Because there's just tons of annoying flying enemies and flea men and you name it, just all over the place. But with the help of the stopwatch, this is the easiest. Remember what I said about using it to prevent enemies from spawning? Well, I get a lot of mileage out of that in this level. Because it's so short and so packed with enemies, it pays to just use the stopwatch almost the entire way. Plus with the last level, you don't need any hearts going into the last level. They give you way more than you'd ever need there, so really your goal is just to make it to the last level with full health. Hearts don't even matter, so you can just go crazy here, like I'm doing. Use the stopwatch there again because there's a mummy and a skeleton that would spawn in this area, but I stopped both of them from appearing. I just do this because I need to kill this guy for the cross. Anyway, minor mistake on this boss coming up because you actually want to stay far away from him and not get hit. I'm generally 2 or 3 seconds faster than this, but that's still not a bad time, I guess. And yes, the cross is definitely faster than the stopwatch. You can get the cross in level 3 actually, but it's not good against the level 3 and 4 bosses, so you're better off just sticking with the stopwatch. And here we go with clearly a most creative and ingenious final level. Clearly. And yes, this is the entire thing. Up until Dracula. You cross the bridge, then you fight Dracula. That's it. The issue with this is that if you just stand and hit enemies with your weapon, you won't be able to finish the level. The bridge will collapsing will catch up to you. So you have to just jump and attack them. Take some damage, and the easy way to do this is just to jump and fire the cross. But I actually took the effort into figuring out where the bats spawn, so I can just do what I'm doing here. My goal is generally to make it to Dracula with half health because he can either stay in place and let you kill him, I mean his first form I mean, or he can immediately teleport, and if he teleports, there's a good chance you're getting hit at some point. I like to have half health just in case. Also, I delayed this a little bit. I kind of paused for a little bit here before moving on because I find that when the timer's 3:12 or 3:13 when Dracula appears, you have the best chance of him behaving well, like he does here. He's just staying in place and he's done. First form anyway. Last boss time. And that's game. So it was 12:22 actually when he died. Anyway, that's been my run of Haunted Castle, and hope you enjoy.